The royal family gathering at Windsor Castle was supposed to be a quiet afternoon tea. Catherine sat gracefully in the ornate drawing room, her hands folded neatly in her lap as she watched the gentle rainfall through the tall windows. The soft chatter of family members filled the air, mixing with the gentle clinking of fine china and silver spoons. Camilla entered the room with her usual confident stride, wearing an elegant cream-colored dress that complemented her silver hair perfectly. She had something special planned for today, something she had been thinking about for weeks. Her eyes sparkled with a secret excitement that only she knew about. Prince William stood near the fireplace, discussing upcoming royal duties with his father. His tall frame cast a long shadow across the Persian carpet, and his voice carried the authority that came with his position as heir to the throne. He had no idea what was about to unfold. The afternoon had started like any other royal gathering. Staff members moved quietly around the room, refilling teacups and offering delicate sandwiches and pastries. The conversation flowed between topics of charity work, upcoming state visits, and family matters. Everything seemed perfectly normal and peaceful. Catherine noticed how relaxed everyone appeared to be. These family moments were precious, away from the constant public eye and media attention. She cherished these times when they could simply be a family, sharing stories and enjoying each other's company, without the formality that usually surrounded their public appearances. Camilla had been unusually quiet during the first part of tea time, which was not like her at all. She usually led conversations with her warm personality and quick wit. But today, she seemed to be waiting for something, watching the clock on the mantelpiece with subtle glances. The Queen Consort had been planning this moment for quite some time. She had spoken with several people, made careful arrangements, and chosen this particular day for very specific reasons. The timing had to be perfect, and she knew that this gathering would be the ideal setting for what she had in mind. William continued his conversation, completely unaware that he was about to become the center of attention. He sipped his tea thoughtfully, occasionally nodding at points made by other family members. His relaxed demeanor showed how comfortable he felt in this intimate family setting. As the afternoon progressed, Camilla began to show signs of nervous energy. She adjusted her jewelry, smoothed her dress, and took several deep breaths. The moment she had been anticipating was drawing near, and she wanted everything to go perfectly. Catherine observed these subtle changes in Camilla's behavior with growing curiosity. Having spent years as part of the royal family, she had developed a keen sense for when something significant was about to happen. The atmosphere in the room was beginning to shift, though most people hadn't noticed it yet. The staff continued their quiet service, but even they seemed to sense that something special was in the air. Conversations began to naturally wind down as people finished their tea and settled back into their comfortable chairs. The room took on a more intimate feeling as the afternoon light began to fade. Camilla stood up slowly, her movement catching everyone's attention. The room gradually fell silent as all eyes turned toward her. She smiled warmly at everyone present, but her gaze lingered particularly on William, who looked up at her with mild curiosity about what she might be planning to say. The Queen Consort cleared her throat gently and began to speak in her clear, confident voice. She talked about family, about traditions, and about the importance of recognizing special achievements and milestones. Her words were carefully chosen, building up to something significant that would soon unfold. William listened attentively, still standing by the fireplace, completely unaware that he was about to be the focus of whatever Camilla had planned. Catherine watched from her chair, her curiosity growing stronger with each word that Camilla spoke. The anticipation in the room was becoming almost tangible. As Camilla continued speaking, she moved closer to where William was standing. Her smile grew wider, and there was an unmistakable gleam of joy and pride in her eyes. Whatever she was about to reveal or announce, it was clearly something that brought her tremendous happiness and satisfaction. The other family members began to pay closer attention as well, sensing that this was building up to something important. The casual afternoon tea was transforming into what appeared to be a more formal moment, though none of them could yet guess what was coming next. Camilla paused in her speech, looking around the room at all the faces watching her expectantly. The silence stretched for a moment as she savored this anticipated moment. Then, with a deep breath and a radiant smile, she prepared to reveal what she had been planning all along, setting the stage for what would become an unforgettable afternoon for everyone present. Camilla reached into a small velvet pouch that she had been carrying with her throughout the afternoon. The room remained completely silent as everyone watched her movements with growing fascination. Even the staff members had stopped their quiet activities to observe what was happening. "William, my dear stepson," Camilla began, her voice filled with warmth and emotion, "today marks a very special occasion that I believe deserves proper recognition." She pulled out an ornate golden medallion from the pouch, its surface gleaming in the soft afternoon light that filtered through the castle windows. The medallion was clearly very old and valuable, with intricate engravings that caught the light beautifully. Family members leaned forward in their chairs to get a better look at this mysterious object that Camilla had produced. Catherine found herself particularly intrigued, wondering what significance this medallion might hold. William looked puzzled but interested as he watched Camilla approach him with the medallion in her hands. "I'm not sure I understand," he said politely, though his curiosity was clearly evident in his voice. "What is this about, Camilla?" The queen consort smiled even more broadly as she explained that this medallion had belonged to previous generations of the royal family. It was traditionally awarded to family members who had shown exceptional dedication to their royal duties and had made significant contributions to the monarchy and the country. "This medallion," Camilla continued, "has not been presented to anyone in over 30 years. The last person to receive it was your grandfather, and before him, it was given to your great-uncle during the war years." The historical significance of the moment was becoming clear to everyone in the room. Catherine's eyes widened as she began to understand the importance of what was happening. This was not just a casual family gathering anymore. It was turning into a formal recognition ceremony. She watched William's face as the realization of what was about to happen began to dawn on him as well. Camilla explained that the decision to present this medallion had not been made lightly. It required careful consideration and approval from senior family members. She had spent weeks discussing William's achievements and contributions with various people, including his father and other respected figures within the royal household. Your work with mental health awareness, your environmental initiatives, and your dedication to modernizing the monarchy while respecting its traditions have been truly exceptional," Camilla said, her voice growing more emotional as she spoke. "You have shown maturity, wisdom, and leadership that goes far beyond your years." The room was completely captivated by Camilla's words. Family members nodded in agreement, clearly moved by her heartfelt assessment of William's contributions. Catherine felt a surge of pride for her husband, though she remained surprised by this unexpected turn of events. William appeared genuinely touched by Camilla's words, though he still seemed uncertain about what exactly was expected of him. The formal nature of the presentation was becoming more apparent with each moment that passed, and the atmosphere in the room had shifted to something much more ceremonial. Camilla then began to explain the tradition associated with receiving this particular medallion. According to royal protocol, the recipient was expected to kneel while the medallion was placed around their neck, symbolizing their acceptance of the responsibilities and honor that came with the recognition. "The tradition dates back several centuries," Camilla explained, "and it represents not just recognition of past achievements, but also a commitment to continued service and excellence in the future." Her words carried the weight of history and tradition that was so important to the royal family. Catherine watched as understanding finally crossed William's face. He was being asked to participate in a formal ceremony that would recognize his contributions to the royal family and the country. The surprise and honor of the moment were clearly evident in his expression. Other family members began to shift in their seats, recognizing that they were witnessing something truly special and historically significant. The casual afternoon tea had transformed into an impromptu ceremony that would likely be remembered and discussed for years to come. Camilla held the medallion carefully, waiting for William's response. The golden chain gleamed in her hands, and the weight of tradition and honor that it represented seemed to fill the entire room. Everyone waited quietly to see how William would respond to this unexpected recognition. The moment stretched on as William processed what was happening. He looked around the room at the faces of his family members, all watching him with expressions of pride and anticipation. The significance of the moment was not lost on him, and he appeared to be gathering himself for what would come next. Catherine found herself holding her breath, completely captivated by the unfolding ceremony. She had never seen anything quite like this before, and the historical significance of the moment was both exciting and overwhelming. The afternoon had taken a turn that none of them could have anticipated. William took a deep breath and looked directly at Camilla, his expression showing both gratitude and acceptance. "I am truly honored, Camilla. This recognition means more to me than I can express." His voice carried genuine emotion as he spoke, and everyone in the room could sense the sincerity of his response. The prince began to understand the full significance of what was happening. This was not just about receiving an award. It was about accepting a deeper level of responsibility within the royal family structure. The medallion represented a formal acknowledgement of his role as a future leader and his commitment to serving the people. Camilla nodded approvingly at his response, clearly pleased with his understanding of the moment's importance. "The tradition requires that you kneel to receive the medallion," she explained gently, "as a symbol of humility and service, despite the honor being bestowed upon you." Catherine watched as William straightened his jacket and prepared himself for the ceremonial aspect of the presentation. The formality of the moment was striking, especially given that it was taking place in what had started as a casual family gathering. The contrast made the ceremony feel even more special and meaningful. The other family members remained completely silent, understanding that they were witnessing a rare and significant moment in royal history. Some of them had heard stories about similar ceremonies from previous generations, but most had never actually seen one take place in person. William moved to the center of the room, positioning himself directly in front of Camilla. The afternoon light streaming through the windows seemed to highlight both figures, creating an almost theatrical setting for the ceremony. The moment felt both intimate and grand at the same time. "Before I kneel," William said thoughtfully, "I want to thank everyone here for their support and guidance over the years. The work that is being recognized today could not have been accomplished without the strength and wisdom of this family." His words showed his understanding that leadership was not a solitary endeavor. Camilla smiled warmly at his acknowledgement of the family's role in his achievements. "That is exactly the kind of wisdom and humility that makes you worthy of this recognition," she replied. "The medallion represents not just individual achievement, but the understanding that we serve as part of something much larger than ourselves." The queen consort then began to recite the traditional words that accompanied the presentation ceremony. Her voice took on a more formal tone as she spoke phrases that had been used for generations of royal family members. The ancient words seemed to connect the present moment with centuries of royal tradition. Catherine found herself deeply moved by the ceremony unfolding before her. She had married into the royal family understanding its history and traditions, but experiencing something this significant firsthand was profoundly different from simply hearing about it. The weight of history felt almost tangible in the room. As Camilla continued with the traditional recitation, William listened attentively to every word. The ceremony was teaching him about aspects of royal tradition that he had never fully understood before, even though he had been born into the family. Some traditions were only shared when the moment was right. The other family members remained motionless, understanding that their role was to serve as witnesses to this important moment. Their presence added gravity to the ceremony, representing the continuity of the royal family across generations and the shared commitment to service that defined their lives. Camilla finished reciting the traditional words and paused, holding the medallion ready for the final part of the ceremony. "Now, Prince William, if you are ready to accept this honor and the responsibilities it represents, please kneel so that I may present you with this medallion." The moment had arrived for the most significant part of the ceremony. William nodded solemnly, showing that he fully understood what was being asked of him and what it meant. The casual prince who had been enjoying afternoon tea had transformed into a formal participant in a centuries-old royal tradition. He took one final look around the room, making eye contact with Catherine and the other family members who were witnessing this moment. Their expressions of pride and support clearly meant a great deal to him as he prepared to take this important step in his royal journey. The silence in the room was complete as William prepared to kneel. Even the usual sounds of the castle seemed to have faded away, as if the building itself was paying respect to the ceremony taking place within its walls. The moment felt suspended in time, connecting past, present, and future. Catherine felt her heart beating faster as she watched her husband prepare for this significant moment. She understood that she was witnessing something that would become part of royal family history, a story that would be told to future generations. The honor and responsibility of the moment were overwhelming. With grace and dignity, William slowly lowered himself to one knee in the center of the ornate drawing room. The movement was deliberate and respectful, showing his full acceptance of the honor being bestowed upon him. The sight of the future king kneeling created a powerful image that none of the witnesses would ever forget. Camilla's smile grew even brighter as she watched William take this humble position. Her face radiated joy and pride, not just in the moment itself, but in the man that William had become. The years of watching him grow into his role as a senior royal had led to this special recognition. Catherine felt a wave of emotion wash over her as she watched her husband in this moment of honor. The sight was both moving and inspiring, representing everything she admired about his character and his commitment to duty. She had to blink back tears that threatened to form in her eyes. The golden medallion caught the light beautifully as Camilla lifted it carefully. The chain was long enough to fit comfortably around William's neck, and the medallion itself was substantial enough to be felt when worn, serving as a constant reminder of the honor and responsibility it represented. "Prince William," Camilla began in her most formal voice, "I present you with this medallion of royal recognition, acknowledging your exceptional service to the crown and to the people of our nation." Her words carried the weight of official ceremony, even though they were in the intimate setting of a family gathering. As she placed the chain around William's neck, the medallion settled against his chest with a soft sound that seemed to echo in the quiet room. The golden surface reflected the light from the windows, creating small patterns on the wall that danced gently as the medallion found its resting place. William remained kneeling as Camilla completed the formal presentation, showing his respect for the tradition and the significance of what was happening. His head was bowed slightly, but his posture remained strong and dignified, reflecting his understanding of the balance between humility and strength that the moment required. "You may rise, Prince William," Camilla said with obvious pleasure in her voice. As he stood, she stepped back to admire how the medallion looked on him. The golden piece seemed to suit him perfectly, as if it had been waiting all these years to find its rightful owner. The family members in the room began to show their appreciation with gentle applause, their faces beaming with pride and joy. The spontaneous recognition felt completely natural, as if everyone understood instinctively that this moment deserved their acknowledgement and celebration. Catherine rose from her chair and moved toward William, her face glowing with pride and love. She had watched him handle many official duties and ceremonies, but this personal recognition within the family felt especially meaningful and touching. The medallion looked magnificent against his formal afternoon attire. William touched the medallion gently with his fingertips, feeling its weight and craftsmanship. The metal was warm from Camilla's hands and seemed to carry with it the energy of all the previous recipients who had worn it before him. The connection to royal history was almost overwhelming. "Thank you, Camilla," William said, his voice thick with emotion. "I will wear this with great pride and remember always the responsibility it represents. This honor will inspire me to continue working even harder in service to our family and our people." The queen consort reached out and adjusted the medallion slightly, ensuring it hung perfectly. "It suits you wonderfully," she said with maternal affection. "I know that you will honor the tradition of this medallion and perhaps even exceed the achievements of those who wore it before you." Other family members began to approach, wanting to examine the medallion more closely and offer their congratulations to William. The formal ceremony was naturally transitioning into a more celebratory atmosphere as everyone expressed their joy and pride in this recognition. Catherine finally reached her husband's side and looked up at him, with eyes full of love and admiration. "I'm so proud of you," she whispered, her voice barely audible to anyone else in the room. The medallion seemed to represent everything she had always known about his character and dedication. The afternoon light continued to stream through the windows, but now it seemed to have a different quality, as if even nature was celebrating this special moment. The room felt charged with positive energy and the satisfaction that comes from witnessing something truly meaningful and significant. William looked around at all the faces surrounding him, each showing genuine happiness for his recognition. The casual family gathering had become one of the most memorable afternoons of his life, and he knew that this moment would stay with him forever as a reminder of what service and dedication could achieve. The medallion would serve as a daily reminder of this afternoon and the love and support of his family, especially Camilla's thoughtful decision to honor him in this traditional way. As the family members gathered around William to admire the medallion and offer their congratulations, Catherine found herself reflecting on the remarkable transformation the afternoon had undergone. What had started as a simple family tea had become a ceremony that would be remembered and talked about for generations to come. The medallion itself was truly spectacular up close. Catherine could see the intricate details that had been carved into the gold surface, including small symbols that represented different aspects of royal service. Each marking seemed to tell a story of dedication, sacrifice, and achievement that connected William to his predecessors. Camilla watched the family's reactions with obvious satisfaction, pleased that her carefully planned surprise had been received so well. She had spent considerable time researching the history of the medallion and ensuring that all the proper protocols were followed, even in this informal family setting. The medallion was crafted in the early 1800s, Camilla explained to the gathered family members, by the finest artisans of the time. Each detail was specifically chosen to represent the values that we hold most dear as members of the royal family: service, integrity, compassion, and dedication to the greater good. William continued to touch the medallion occasionally, still amazed by its weight and beauty. The feel of the gold against his chest was comforting and inspiring at the same time, serving as a tangible reminder of the trust and confidence that his family had placed in him. The other family members took turns examining the medallion more closely, each discovering new details in its design. The craftsmanship was truly exceptional, representing the kind of artistry that was rare even in its own time. Every curve and line had been carefully planned and executed. Catherine noticed how the ceremony had brought the entire family closer together. The shared experience of witnessing something so meaningful had created a special bond among everyone present. These were the moments that made all the challenges and responsibilities of royal life worthwhile. As the initial excitement began to settle, the family naturally returned to their seats, but the atmosphere remained elevated and joyful. The medallion had transformed not just William's afternoon, but everyone's understanding of the significance of their shared family heritage. "I think this calls for a proper celebration," one family member suggested, and others quickly agreed. The staff, who had remained respectfully in the background during the ceremony, began to prepare for what was clearly going to become a more festive gathering. Camilla clapped her hands together with delight, pleased that the afternoon was continuing to evolve in positive directions. "I had hoped that this recognition would bring us all together in celebration," she said, "and it seems that my wish is coming true beautifully." The conversation began to flow more freely as family members shared stories about other similar ceremonies they had heard about from previous generations. The medallion had sparked a wonderful exchange of family history and traditions that brought the past alive in new ways. William found himself at the center of attention, but he handled it with his characteristic grace and humility. He made sure to include everyone in the conversation and continued to express his gratitude for the honor he had received. The medallion seemed to have enhanced his natural leadership qualities. Catherine observed how the medallion appeared to suit William perfectly, as if it had been waiting all these years to find its rightful owner. The way it caught the light and complemented his formal attire made it seem like it had always belonged with him. The staff returned with champagne and special pastries, clearly understanding that the afternoon had become a celebration worthy of their finest service. The careful attention to detail showed their own appreciation for the significance of what had taken place. As glasses were filled and raised in toast, Camilla stood once again to address the gathering. "To Prince William," she said, her voice filled with warmth and pride, "may this medallion remind you always of our love, our support, and our confidence in your continued service to the crown and to the people." The toast was echoed enthusiastically by everyone present, and the sound of clinking glasses added a festive note to the proceedings. William responded with his own toast, thanking everyone for their support and promising to honor the tradition represented by the medallion. The afternoon continued to unfold beautifully, with laughter, conversation, and the kind of genuine family joy that made all their public duties and responsibilities worthwhile. The medallion had not just honored William, it had brought the entire family together in celebration of their shared values and commitments. As the light outside began to change with the approaching evening, the family remained gathered together, reluctant to let this special afternoon come to an end. The medallion continued to catch the light, serving as a constant reminder of the love, tradition, and honor that had filled their time together. As the celebration continued into the early evening, Catherine found herself in quiet conversation with Camilla, thanking her for the thoughtful way she had organized this special recognition. The surprise had been perfectly executed, and the impact on William and the entire family was clearly profound and lasting. "I've been planning this for months," Camilla confided to Catherine with a conspiratorial smile. "I wanted to find just the right moment and the right setting to make it truly meaningful. William has accomplished so much, and it was important to me that his achievements be recognized in a traditional and significant way." Catherine expressed her gratitude for Camilla's thoughtfulness and attention to detail. The ceremony had been both intimate and formal, striking exactly the right balance for such an important family moment. The medallion would serve as a lasting reminder of this perfect afternoon. Meanwhile, William continued to be surrounded by family members who wanted to hear more about his recent projects and initiatives. The medallion seemed to have sparked new conversations about his work and future plans, creating opportunities for deeper connections and understanding among the family. The golden medallion caught the light from the chandeliers as evening approached, creating a warm glow that seemed to symbolize the positive energy filling the room. Every time William moved, the medallion shifted slightly, reminding everyone of the significance of what had taken place. Staff members moved efficiently around the room, maintaining the celebration while remaining unobtrusive. Their professional service added to the feeling that this was truly a special occasion, worthy of the finest attention and care. The evening was unfolding beautifully in every detail. As conversations continued, family members began sharing their own memories of significant moments in royal history. The medallion presentation had opened a window into the past, allowing stories and traditions to be shared that might otherwise have remained hidden in family archives. William listened attentively to these stories, understanding that he was now part of a continuing tradition that stretched back through generations. The medallion connected him not just to his immediate family, but to all those who had served before him with distinction and honor. Catherine noticed how the medallion seemed to have given William a new sense of confidence and purpose. While he had always been dedicated to his royal duties, the formal recognition appeared to have reinforced his understanding of his role and its importance to the family and the nation. The atmosphere in the room remained joyful and celebratory, but there was also a deeper sense of connection and meaning that came from sharing in something truly significant. The medallion presentation had created memories that would last a lifetime for everyone present. As the evening progressed, Camilla suggested that they should document this special occasion with photographs. The idea was enthusiastically received, and soon the family was arranging themselves for pictures that would preserve the memory of this remarkable afternoon and evening. The photographs captured not just the medallion itself, but the joy and pride visible in everyone's faces. William stood confidently in the center of the group, the golden medallion clearly visible against his formal attire, while family members surrounded him with expressions of love and support. Catherine made sure that Camilla was prominently featured in the photographs, understanding that this day was as much about honoring her thoughtfulness and planning as it was about recognizing William's achievements. The Queen Consort's joy was evident in every picture. As the formal photography session concluded, the family naturally returned to their conversations and celebrations. The evening had taken on a life of its own, with no one seeming eager to bring this special time together to an end. William took a moment to step back and observe the scene around him. The sight of his family gathered together in celebration, the beautiful setting of the castle drawing room, and the weight of the medallion around his neck all combined to create a sense of profound gratitude and responsibility. The medallion would serve as a daily reminder of this perfect afternoon and evening, but more importantly, it would remind him of the love and support of his family, particularly Camilla's thoughtful recognition of his efforts and achievements. As the celebration continued, it became clear that this day would hold a special place in family history. The spontaneous ceremony had created something magical that went far beyond the simple presentation of an award. It had brought the family together in a way that strengthened their bonds and renewed their commitment to their shared values and responsibilities. The evening light streaming through the windows gradually gave way to the soft glow of the chandeliers, but the warmth and joy in the room remained constant, sustained by the love and pride that filled every corner of the gathering. As the evening drew to a close, the family began to reluctantly acknowledge that this magical day would eventually have to end. However, the impact of what had taken place would continue to resonate for years to come. The medallion ceremony had created something far more valuable than just a recognition award. William stood near the fireplace once more, but this time he was wearing the golden medallion that had transformed his afternoon completely. The weight of it around his neck served as a constant reminder of the honor he had received and the responsibilities that came with it. Catherine approached her husband as the other family members began to prepare for their departures. "How does it feel?" she asked quietly, gesturing toward the medallion that rested against his chest. The question was simple, but it carried depth about the significance of everything that had happened. "It feels like coming home," William replied thoughtfully, "not just to this place, but to a deeper understanding of what it means to be part of this family and this tradition. The medallion isn't just beautiful. It's a connection to something much larger than myself." Camilla overheard their conversation and joined them by the fireplace. Her face still glowed with the satisfaction of seeing her carefully planned surprise received so well. "That's exactly what I hoped you would feel," she said warmly. "The medallion represents continuity, connection, and commitment to something greater than any individual." The three of them stood together in comfortable silence for a moment, each reflecting on the remarkable transformation the day had undergone. What had started as a casual family gathering had become a ceremony that would be remembered and retold for generations. As other family members began to say their goodbyes, each one made a point of congratulating William once more and expressing their joy at having been present for such a significant moment. The shared experience had created bonds that would strengthen their family relationships for years to come. The staff began the careful process of cleaning up after the celebration, moving quietly and efficiently around the family members who were still gathered in the drawing room. Their discretion and professionalism had contributed significantly to the success of the entire afternoon and evening. William took time to personally thank each family member for their presence and support during the ceremony. The medallion had taught him something about the importance of acknowledging others and expressing gratitude for the role they played in his achievements and recognition. Catherine noticed how naturally William had adapted to wearing the medallion. It seemed to suit him perfectly, enhancing his natural dignity and presence. The golden surface caught the light from the chandeliers, creating a warm glow that seemed to reflect his inner character. As the last family members prepared to leave, Camilla gathered everyone together for one final moment. "Today has been truly special," she said, "not just because of the medallion presentation, but because of the way it brought us all together in celebration of our shared values and commitments." The final photographs were taken as the family stood together in the drawing room where the ceremony had taken place. The images would serve as lasting reminders of this perfect day, capturing not just the medallion itself, but the joy and love that had filled every moment. William promised to wear the medallion with pride and to remember always the afternoon when he received it, surrounded by the love and support of his family. The ceremony had given him not just recognition, but a deeper understanding of his role and purpose within the royal family. As the castle gradually returned to its evening quiet, Catherine and William remained in the drawing room for a few more moments. The medallion continued to catch the soft light, serving as a beautiful reminder of an afternoon that had exceeded everyone's expectations. "Camilla was brilliant to plan this," Catherine said, taking William's hand as they prepared to leave the room where so much had happened. "The way she brought tradition and family together was absolutely perfect. This day will stay with us forever." William nodded in agreement, touching the medallion one more time before they left the drawing room. The weight of it was comforting and inspiring, a tangible reminder of the love, honor, and responsibility that defined his life and his commitment to service. The day that had begun with simple afternoon tea had become something extraordinary through Camilla's thoughtful planning and the family's shared celebration. The medallion would serve as a daily reminder of this perfect afternoon when tradition, recognition, and family love came together in the most beautiful way possible. As they finally left the drawing room, the medallion caught the light one last time, symbolizing the bright future that lay ahead and the strong foundation of family support that would sustain William in all his future endeavors.